good people, and welcome to Night Court. Woo! Welcome to the show. It is episode 91. 91. We're getting close. We're getting close
to
the century mark.
Case 91.
Case 91. I am Rob Fisher alongside Brevin Knight. We are with you here on Night Court each and every week. You can catch us on Twitter as well. At the Fish Nation is where you can catch me. You can get Brevin at Night Court 20. Or no, you can get Brevin at Brevin Knight 22.
Jeez.
You can get the show.
Get some rest that night. Get some rest that night.
You can get the show at Night Court 22. Night Court 22. Well, I was impressed with what I was wearing today. I got my college baseball jersey on for the Billikens. Go St. Louis U. And I was impressed with this because, it still fits. And I wore it for the College World Series going on right now. And then you come, no, not with that shirt. What you got on your head?
Yes, this is my attire for the summer, man. You know, I'm out in the yard, and so you have to dress accordingly. And so
right.
I got my hat here.
That's 75 degrees really affects you up there?
Yeah, it really. The sun is hot, and so a great Father's Day gifts for me in that I got this nice hat, and you keep the sun off your neck and make sure no bugs get on your neck. And then I got some nice boots, some work boots, and some tops. So I'm all set. I just came from cutting some grass before getting on here with you today.
You kind of look like a beekeeper.
If
you pulled down a net, you look like a beekeeper.
The more and more I look at it as I'm on here,
yeah.
I can't. It almost gives like I'm trying to have some type of style with it, like cocked to the side like this.
Right.
But I'm really not doing that. I just can't get it.
You can't get
now,
it right.
Now I feel like it's on some old farmer, like farmer in the Dell type thing.
Yeah, the flip up is not the look. The flip up is not the look. But it looked great. I loved it.
Yeah, but no, that's my look. You see, I got a full. I now have a outdoor wardrobe. That's how serious I am about it. A wardrobe dedicated to outdoor work.
Well, I've gotten back to Lowe's here recently. The
truck is going back and forth again.
The truck, we're having a problem.
Oh.
Every time you the truck and you drive the truck, when you stop the truck won't start again. So
not good to be driving to a store.
You'd always have to have someone following you with jumper cables. It's not ideal. So, or you got to just leave it running.
So as you get to the red light, just
no, that's fine. No, it dies when you turn it. You can drive as far as you want.
Turn it, you can't turn it off.
When you turn it off, you can't. It won't turn back.
You just
on.
Need somebody to ride with you, and they just got to stay in the car the whole time.
Right.
And then you run in, grab the stuff, and then come back out.
Right.
Oh, that's hey, people been having that type of problem for a long time. I had a couple of cousins who had to drive, who we had to get in the car and do it that way. Right. Don't turn it off. We'll drive. You ride with me though.
Right.
And then we'll get there, and then
Yeah. And the air conditioner works, so that's good.
Hey, listen, in Memphis, there's certain things that are paramount. First and foremost, as long as it comes on, if I ain't got to turn it off, I ain't got to turn it off. But the air has to work. If you ain't got no air, it's almost impossible, damn near impossible to drive in Memphis.
Oh, yeah, no, you got to. Well, sometimes the trucks doesn't work. I shouldn't lie. Sometimes it works most of the time, but then there's that every once in a while you're like, what's going on? It doesn't work. And you just got to roll down the windows and hope you get there quick.
Is it the roll down? You manually roll it down?
No, you press a button to roll down the window, but it goes. It's real slow, and every time you roll it down, there is that chance. Might be the last one that goes up.
I want to roll down a window car at some point again.
Yeah, boy, it's been a minute.
How about that?
There are people listening who have no idea what you're talking about.
No idea. Like, where are they going with this? There used to be cars where you manually had to turn the knob to put the window down. You remember that? God, dog, boy, we are old, Roberto.
Oh yeah, I remember.
All
I
right,
mean,
I went
I,
on a tangent there.
I drove in cars. I mean, I drove in cars that had those. I drove in cars that had, I mean, cassette players for sure.
Oh, me too. Me
And then
too.
I never drove in an 8-track. I mean, I had ridden in one with an 8-track, but I never
Never
physically
drove one.
one myself that had an
My
8.
first car was a 66 Riviera
Oh, nice.
with bad shocks. You hit a bump. It just
I
for a
had
minute.
a 71 Plymouth Fury that was as big as a house. I would take the whole hockey team to the game. I mean, because it had the bench seat across the front and across the back, so you could fit 3 in front, easy, and everybody's stuff fit in the back seat as well. So it was unbelievable.
I got you. You keep going. I gotta make sure it's the right year.
Oh, your car,
Yeah, I think it was a 76.
76.
I think I gotta see.
Okay.
All I know is that thing was serious. That's when I got to college, and everybody thought it was cool. And I'm like, bro, I don't really get down with these old cars like this.
And it didn't have shocks.
And the shocks were beat on it. It was a little 2-door. I gotta look. I'm gonna look it up though. I get back to it.
All right, we'll get back to it. All right, we got a lot of show, a whole lot of stuff we got to touch on today because a lot of stuff has happened. We'll have our weekly update on Caitlin Clark. Oh, and gosh, is it something? We also we got some basketball news. We got the basketball finals, of course, and that's where we'll start. It's over. No need in talking about Game 3 and Game 4. Game 3, Luka was terrible. Game 4 seemed like a human nature type of game. And then Game 5, Boston proved they're just the much better team. I mean, that was a dominating performance. And to see what they did during this postseason, to go, 16-3?
Yeah, they just lost one game every series.
Except for one, they swept.
Except for the one, they swept the one sweep. Yeah.
Yeah, so they lost 3 games, won 16. That's unbelievable.
And we said a lot of the losses came just from, for lack of a better term, just complacency. It was just it's just kind of boring. Like we know we're going to beat you. We know we're better. And the other team comes out and they happen to put forth to have a monster effort, and then everybody thinks that it's going to be serious, and then they just win the next games and it's over. It's the same thing. Game 4 was, if Dallas wants to give us the game, then we'll take it and win. But we really just want to win at home, and so they went, and Dallas played well. Everybody showed up for them, and then you got to Game 5, and again, so Boston just showed that why they were the best team in the NBA all season. They put it all together in every phase of the game, and it was a blowout right from the beginning. Scheme wise, again, give Mazzulla to be such a young coach and to not have the long background of NBA basketball, and to be able to make adjustments and get the most out of his guys. A big credit goes to him and his staff for what they were able to do for the regular season, but then to be able to get through the postseason in the fashion that they did, and so it kind of, you like the fact that a team won the championship, but it goes back to what we talked about in the last series, was that you said, what could Dallas do to change things? And I said the only thing they could do is Kyrie and Luka will have to be sensational every game. They weren't sensational every game. Kyrie struggled again in Boston, and so because of that, then they didn't have the team concept that they needed to be able to shift and move Boston's defense in any way in order for it to change in the way that it was going.
I thought it was so impressive too how Boston, just the way they rebounded, especially on the offensive glass, because of how Boston takes so many long shots, how they were able to just hustle and get to the rebound just quicker, faster. Just had a better sense of where the ball was going. It was guards. It was everybody. It was five guys, and the way the offensive rebound, it just killed Dallas, killed them over and over again.
Well, you said the guards, and the hardest thing to do in terms of boxing out is boxing out somebody that's out in the perimeter, because they more than likely have a running start to get to the basket. And so now you're trying to watch where the ball is going, try to get your body and make some type of contact with somebody that's running to the basket. And so Boston used it to their advantage. They spread the floor very well. And again, with Hetman, the bigs for Dallas have to play so much out on the floor. With Horford being a shooter, when Porzingis was playing, being a shooter. And so because of that, then the guards had to be around the basket to do the rebound. And Boston's guards just did a great job of continuing to sneak in and grab boards.
You mentioned Joe Mazzulla. A couple of things to take away from this series. One, Joe Mazzulla is a guy who a lot of criticism the last couple of years since he's taken the job. He hasn't been given much of a chance. To the point where, if they didn't win this year, there probably would have been heat on him again. I find it fun. I found it very great. His response after the game, he was asked about the heat that he has taken and the criticism, and he said, I expect it. I expect it comes with the job. I expect it's always going to happen. I expect next year, if we don't win the championship, it's going to happen. He's like, and he just took it. I mean, it was a great answer, but it's like, man, he's going the Budenholzer path. Crappy coach goes and wins the title, and then next year, if he doesn't win the title, he's going to get fired.
I think he's in a little bit better position than where Budenholzer was in his job security, but. Like I said, I give him credit. He's not some of his interviews are almost Greg Popovich-esque in the way he answers questions. But I always say, to win in the NBA, you got to be a fantastic communicator, and you have to have the respect of guys that what you're trying to get done. And he was able to accomplish both of those at a young age. And so kudos to him and to his staff. And I was happy to see my old buddy Sam Cassell over there on the bench with the Boston Celtics be able to win a championship along with our buddy Xavier Tillman.
Yeah, very cool for Xavier Tillman. I saw, I guess it was posted on his Instagram. He was FaceTiming. He took a screenshot, FaceTiming Jaren with his NBA championship hat on. And Jared's just sitting there like, oh. It was pretty funny.
Hey, yeah, I got it before you, Michigan State guy. I'm before you.
Yeah. Good for Xavier Tillman. That was it was cool to see him smiling last night and being a championship himself. So that's pretty cool. The other thing has been, I'll repeat a question that I probably asked you a year ago. Can Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown play together? Can they win?
When you said it then, I said it then was yes, and that it was they can coexist because the ball plays more than just one side of the floor, and you need guys that can be in the game also staggered, that can still shoulder the load when you go to the bench. And that's what they were able to have. And I think the maturity of both of those guys is also what allowed it to be a working relationship on both ends of the floor. Because you got to be able to put aside a lot of your personal goals, a lot of your ego, and sacrificed to win games and win championships. And I thought both have done a fantastic job of that.
What Jason Tatum, by the way, 31, 8, and 11, joined Jerry West as the only players in NBA history to record those numbers in a championship clinching game. Of course, on the week that Jerry West passed away. I'll get to that in a moment. But first, I want to touch on Dallas real quick. Where does Dallas go from here? Are they fine? Are we good? Or do we run it back? What do we need?
I think you say you can run it back because you think these were still mid-season additions, late-season additions that really play big parts on their team. You have to answer some questions with your bench in terms of what do you do with Tim Hardaway Jr. I don't know what his contract is. They played Hardy a lot, but then his minutes kind of tapered off, and Hardaway was back in the lineup. So figuring out what they do with that position, but. I think you run it back and maybe you fine tune a couple of things here and there. I think they have all of the pieces. Like I say, you may bolster your bench with some other guys who can do some different things that are dynamic on the offensive end, but also give you some rebound. And they have size. I think it's a matter of playing together again for a longer stretch, getting a training camp together, going through an entire season. But I think they're in a good position moving forward, barring understanding what their contract situations are.
Bro, the one thing that I tweeted it out last night right after the game. Now that the season's over and watching the postseason and realizing we've been done for 2 months, which is unbelievable. And we still have another 4 months to go before we get started again. It felt like last night, now that the season's over, I want to get back to the playoffs. I can't wait for the season to start and for us to just to get back to that feeling. Because this year sucked.
Man, listen, the thing that I expect is that all of those guys who have become accustomed to being every year going to the playoffs, figuring out who you're going to play against, understanding what those stakes are going to be, I think all of them, meaning Ja, Dez, Jaren, I think all will be chomping at the bit to make sure that number one, physically, they're ready to go, but also mentally in the space that they relish the opportunity to do it on a regular basis, because it's not given to you. And like you say, when you're not there and you're watching, and then as you said, how long you've been done, and this is just finishing. You don't want that to be the norm of how things go.
Yeah. Excuse me. All right. Jerry West passed away this week. The former Laker great, legend, NBA legend, both player and executive, former Grizzlies executive as well. Revit, I know for me, I think on a Grizzlies front, I never saw Jerry West play. I just know the legend of Jerry West,
right?
Which is an incredible, player. And obviously I've seen him as an executive around the league and everything. But just focusing on the Grizzlies for a second, I think Jerry West. I moved here year 2 of the Grizzlies, and that's when Jerry ended up coming in, and it was amazing to me that this franchise, which was a laughable franchise in Vancouver, now just moved to Memphis. Horrible team, hadn't won squat, and all of a sudden Jerry West, the logo, the legend, comes to Memphis. It instantly gave the Memphis Grizzlies organization credibility.
Right.
And I mean, immediately gave them credibility. What was Jerry West doing moving to Memphis to work for the Memphis Grizzlies? And I think it's the biggest acquisition the Grizzlies have ever made. And they've made some great acquisitions over the years, including guys like Zebo and Tony Allen and Marc Gasol. But this one gave an organization and a city, as a professional basketball city, gave it credibility. And I think that's the best thing I can say about what he did for the Memphis Grizzlies. It was incredible. It was incredible when he decided to come to Memphis.
Yeah, man. A credit to Michael Heisley and what he was able to do in terms of getting Jerry to be on board.
Yeah,
with coming to Memphis, and as you said, I also didn't have the honor or pleasure of seeing him play other than clips or things of that nature. But
right.
His influence. Listen, when we're the logo of the entire league, that in and of itself talks about, number one, what your skill was, but also what your importance to the game was at that time. And he continued to be such a prominent part of the NBA. And I remember him when we were in Memphis and I was here playing, and he was GM, and we played in the summertime, and he brought in Cesare Trubansky, and we were playing in the summer. We were over at Rhodes. We got done playing, and he was like, well, what do you think? And I was like, well, I mean, do you want me to tell you honestly, or you want me to go along with it He's like, well, no, I want you to tell me what do you think? I was like, well, I just don't think he's an NBA player. I think there's some things there that you can see some skill, but I mean, not for a roster spot, for a team in the position that we were in. We're trying to try to be better. We had enough just like projects or guys who were just able to do just these things. It wasn't somebody that projected in the future was going to change the trajectory at all.
Just a guy.
Just a guy. Just a 7-foot guy who makes shots sometimes, who's not physically able to do much in that category. So, I mean, just a guy. He's like, no, I think he's going to be a pro. I was like, well, come to find out that later on, when we got ready for the next year, Cesare Trubansky was traded with me to Phoenix. So I guess that's how much he thought he and I were going to be have any type influence on the Memphis Grizzlies organization. And know what? Take Robert Archibald with you also. You want to give me basketball advice?
Yeah.
Your advice.
Who'd the Grizzlies get back?
It was like Bo Outlaw.
Bo Outlaw, that's right. It was. It was Bo Outlaw.
It was somebody, and there was somebody, and that. I can't remember who. I can't remember.
What is it? Jake?
Jake Socolides.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Wow. What
so
a
yeah, that's my
blockbuster.
Jerry West story. But yeah, God rest his soul, man. Jerry.
Yeah.
He was a basketball lifer, is what you call him.
When we and again, this is just from the little that I know him, and just everything, all the clips and everything that I've seen of him that you talked about. But the one thing he was, and we've talked about it with Kobe and who's the other guy? We were talking about Anthony Edwards becoming one of those type of players. Michael had it. Kobe had it. That competitiveness and that just desire to win and that hatred of losing. And Jerry West, he lived that. I mean, never wanted to be wrong. Doesn't want to be wrong. Or doesn't want to lose. Doesn't want to lose game. Man, we got swept in the first time Grizzlies ever made the playoffs as a franchise, and we were all excited about it. Oh man, that was fun. Yeah, we got swept by the Spurs, but Hubie got the award. That was really cool. And what a moment! And it was a great experience. And Jerry West comes to the getaway day. What is it? The interviews.
It's the exit
interviews. Thank you. Jerry West comes to that. He looks like he's got tears in his eyes, and he just comes up to the media and he said, "This is so unacceptable. We got guys satisfied over there. That's not going to happen here, and changes are going to be made here, and because this isn't what we stand for. This isn't acceptable. Getting swept in the playoffs." And we're just looking at him like, damn, all right, yeah, let's go. This is kind of exciting. That was our first as media, like real Jerry moment.
Right.
And that was kind of cool. But you could see that competitiveness in him just even in that moment. So yeah, rest in peace, Jerry West. All right. Where do we want to go? Because we just got so much stuff I want to get to. I want to get to the U.S. Open.
Yes. Ugh.
Bryson DeChambeau wins, and Rory. Well, I'm gonna play radio guy today. Okay. Rory choked.
No, I don't think he choked. I think it was unfortunate, but for all of us, for us golfers, those type things. It was the tight putts that he had in the situation that it was that made it tougher than what it is. Number one, to give DeChambeau a lot of credit, because to be able to hit the ball with as much power as he does and still be able to have the touch that he does around the greens, that bunker shot, to hit it to within 4 or 5 feet, whatever you hit it to on 18 was fantastic, with the distance at which he had to hit and get that ball to stop on greens that were treacherous the entire tournament. And so if you watch the putt that he hit on 18, talking about Rory, the ball took a dive right for a 3-foot putt. Now, could he have hit it harder? Yes, but now you're just saying hit it through the break. You don't know what the heck is going to happen. If it just touches the end, it can now go by and be 10 feet coming back. And so I just thought that it was a tough putt. I just think it was the holes before that really hurt him by grabbing the bogey on another short putt earlier than that. But this was as much of DeChambeau just being able to just hold the fort. I mean, he was +1 on the day and still was able to hold off and win. So this is his second U.S. Open.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of watching golf. I'm just not. But at majors, I'll turn it on. And I was watching on Sunday. I was watching baseball. I was watching College World Series. I was watching the UFL championship because I had money on it.
They played the UFL championship already?
Yeah, Birmingham. Birmingham Stallions. Yeah, Skip Holtz. He's won 3 straight titles. He's the best.
They won again.
He's the best spring football coach in history. Mount Rushmore. It's him. That's it.
And him. Put him front and side. Front and back. Put him.
I was watching all this and I was like, well, I'll turn it on, and I enjoy it, especially if it's coming down to the wire, Right. Then I don't mind watching. And they had both finished, I think, 14, so they had 15 through 18 to go. And oh my God, the drama from 15 to 18. The DeChambeau, that shot to get to the bunker,
yes,
out of that crap that he had to hit it out was unbelievable.
Yes.
And then the putts that were missed, it was like, oh my God, who's going to give this away? This is terrible. And because I think if anybody who has played golf in their life, you see them make that 3-footer, and you're one of two people. You're an asshole who goes, good, he's as bad as I am. Yeah, okay, whatever. You're either that guy, or you watch it and your heart kind of drops because you've been there.
Yeah,
and you've missed that putt.
Yeah.
And now, obviously, the conditions are a little bit different. The stakes are a little bit different. But you've missed that $2 putt. And listen,
when you're standing over, Hold on, when you standing over that damn $2 part, you like
Exactly.
this,
You
this
take
is
more
for the
time than
friggin'
DeChambeau.
right. This is for the freaking U.S. Open. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So no, I that's why I tend to go the other way. I felt my heart felt for him in the moment, and then it felt even worse when they kept showing him when
Oh,
DeChambeau was standing over his little short putt to make it, and they cut to him just leaning on the table in the scoring inside where I think he was still where they handing their cards, and
yeah.
to just see that reaction was like, damn, that's just got to be a dagger.
Yeah.
But so goes golf.
It was fun. It was fun to watch. All right. All right. Here I'm going to be radio guy again.
Okay.
Caitlin Clark in our Caitlin Clark update. She was forearm smashed, literally smashed across her forehead by Angel Reese, and it's because it's for two reasons. One, everybody is jealous of Caitlin Clark, and two, it's because Caitlin Clark is white. Go ahead. Did you just find out about your car?
I just found out that our trade for my trade to Phoenix was exactly the people that we said.
All right.
So we were right. I don't like to give the wrong news.
Okay. So Archibald was involved.
Archibald and Trabansky and Knight for Outlaw and Sokolidis. I mean, Blockbuster. I think it was on the bottom of ESPN when it happened.
You think it led the bottom line? Yeah.
It was on the ticker when they put NBA.
Yeah.
The next thing was that.
Knight. You think you were the headliner?
No, it was just I might not have been the headliner, but it was on.
Who would have been the headliner in that trade?
Oh, in that trade, I was the headliner.
Yeah.
I mean,
because Bo was just a role guy.
Nobody knows Jake Sokolidis at that point.
Or Archibald.
Or Trabansky.
No.
So this it was really like just because those guys were young. Number one, Robert was just young. But he was the thing with him. He was like he had a chance to. He was good because he was what people would talk about now with pick and pop guys and step and shoot it. He was just young. Trabansky just wasn't a pro.
Yeah, although you thinking that is why you got traded.
Yep, I do. Now
you didn't agree with Jerry. It was over. You had no chance.
You got to go somewhere else.
We'll see you when we play. I'm sorry, Caitlin Clark. Again, it's she got smashed in the head by Angel Reese because all the players are jealous and because Caitlin is white.
Now that's number one. It's not because it's not why Angel Reese did that. It's not why. Now, would there be a level of animosity? Yes. And it's because so many of these ladies have worked so hard in this league to get it to where it is at this point, or beat the game, be what it is. And it's almost like those efforts are being diminished. And so, yes, this is when she stepped into this game, then she stepped into a gauntlet, because all of what was being said about what she was to women's basketball and what she was going to be, then everyone who had put in their time from college, who have been in the WNBA as long as they have been, who have won championships, who won gold medals, who have done those things, had something to say about, wanted to have something to say about it. And so this was going to happen to her, and it only made it just a little bit more when it's like all of a sudden we needed this little white girl to come and change women's basketball. I mean, if we're gonna be honest, like yes, like for her, the timing of everything was just right. It was. She broke the women's record. She broke the entire college basketball record in terms of scoring. The way that she was able to score, the way that she dominated games, the way that social media was there, and so when all of that came together and that thrust her onto the scene, then now everyone else is like, oh, I'm gonna take my shot at it when I get a chance. If y'all think that that is the standard for women's basketball.
The WNBA attendance is up 156% from last year. Televised games are triple last season's average of 462,000. They're at 1.3 million. WNBA Countdown has a 211% increase from last year's full season average. Online merchandise store has already set single season sales records, and sales are up 756% compared to last year. Social channels garnered 157 million video views through the first week of the season, up 380% compared to last year.
Oh, did you ask me? Was she gonna have an effect on the WNBA? You didn't ask me that question, did you?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure, just because if you would have asked me,
here's
damn right. She has had an effect.
Is that just her?
No, I mean her, Angel Reese, with the way that she's played the game, the way that I think with more and more of the endorsements that they were able to get through college basketball that gave them more exposure, that then just elevated the entirety of women's basketball. And it went from not just them being in college, also the girl that came from South Carolina with the way that she plays the game with her size and abilities to finish inside. And so I think it was, yes, Caitlin Clark would be the headliner in terms of exposure to the game, why so many people were turned on. But there were so many other, it just allowed so many other people to also be recognized for how great they were and how good they are at playing the game. And I give those young ladies a lot of credit because they were able to then turn that into doing marketing deals that also then focus on women's basketball because of these other avenues.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, not the biggest thing, but the marketing value of these women going into the WNBA has been that they've almost made it cool. They've made it cool. They've made it cool to watch. Yes. So now you're buying jerseys of Asia Wilson now for the first time, and buying jerseys of other players around the league, and
Asia Wilson,
cool.
they always been buying those. That's been for, like, she's one of those ones that's been.
But somebody like me who thinks the WNBA is cool now might go out and buy me one. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But I'm just saying, but cool. that name right there though is one that's been synonymous with the WNBA and women's basketball for a long time. Yeah. You would have known that one.
Yeah. The OJ Chase 30th anniversary. Do you remember where you were?
Man, I don't remember exactly where I was, but I remember exactly sitting and watching it the entire time. And I wonder if I was still at school when it was going on. And if I'm not mistaken, if I was in my coach's office watching it.
Oh, really?
Because the OJ Chase was, what year was that?
30 years ago, 94.
94. When did I go to college? Yeah. We would have been watching it at Stanford. We'd be like, yo, this is right down south.
I was working at Busch Stadium and went inside to look and see what the score was of the NBA Finals game. And inside, they had on the TVs this the chase. And I was like, what the hell's going on? So then we just sat there the whole night, watched it. And instead of doing a Cardinals postgame show, we did an OJ The Chase show. And I was on the air for like 2 hours. My partner, who was also, I guess I was 22 at the time. He was probably 23. And he's just kept saying he apparently had a Ginsu knife up again. I'm like, where are you getting this information? We had Todd Christensen on the show. It was unbelievable. It was crazy. Crazy.
That was wild. That was wild to watch.
Yeah, it was. All right, hugs, shout outs, toasts. I'm toasting.
Who got toast?
We're toasting Bryson.
Okay.
What an amazing performance that was. I'm toasting Joe Mazzulla because,
yes, dude,
you took a lot of crap from people, a whole lot for a long time, and you got your job in a really awkward way. How you got the job, so you were gonna have to prove probably more than a normal hired coach.
Yes.
And there you are. You're an NBA champion. So congratulations to you. The U.S. cricket team. Yeah, I said the U.S. cricket team.
What did they do?
They beat Pakistan, and apparently it's like the biggest upset ever in sports.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. The U.S. cricket team.
Are you kidding me? Beat Pakistan?
Yeah. Biggest upset in all of sports history. Possibly.
Where did they play that game?
I have no idea.
They played that one?
I don't think it was here.
They played that in Pakistan, man. That is
pretty impressive. Pretty impressive stuff. I don't know where it was played, but I heard about it and heard that it was one of the biggest upsets ever in sports. So shout out, toast, U.S. cricket team. Yeah, there we go. Cheers. Yeah, shout out. All right. We got other stuff, but we're going to save it for next week because we are just long. This has been a long show.
Oh, man, we got to get off.
And next week's show
people have a life.
Yeah, next week's show, we preview the draft.
And next week's show, we're back together.
Yeah, we're together next week. Oh, and I got gifts for you. I got stuff for you to give to you.
Uh-oh, yes.
So I'm excited about that.
This.
Yeah, I got that for you. All right, well, that'll do it for this week's episode of Night Court. We thank you for joining us. We are back again next week. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter at The Fish Nation, at Brevin Knight 22, at Night Court 22, and make sure you tune in each and every week. And if you're listening here to the podcast, you can also watch the podcast each and every week at the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. Bluff City Media YouTube channel. You can get a link to it on Twitter as well. We'll be tweeting it out, so you can check it out that way as well. For BK, I'm Fish. We'll be back with you again next week here on Night Court.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Night Court podcast. If you enjoyed Rob and Brevin, hit that like button, subscribe to the Bluff City Media YouTube channel, and enjoy the content. We will see you back here next time.